This is bike cribs. This is a raw look at me looking at my bike. And it's the first time ever with this bike bag. A lot of action going down at that race. Probably the biggest start list I've ever actually been on for a pro race, so. It's definitely gonna be like a championship style race where you really wanna try to be in that front group or that main bike group that forms pretty early on. So you don't wanna be too far back out of the swim. Yeah, you wanna be in that group. You don't wanna have to mess around and wait for the chase. Especially because the chase is like not even easy to ride with. Like, those guys are strong. I can chase up if I have to, but the goal is to be there from the start after the swim. Yeah, I mean, at this race 2 years ago, I kind of made that group, so that's a goal again, and I've been swimming better than I have the last several years, so excited to see how that plays out and put that into work in the ocean. It's a lot different than the pool, but we'll get in that water and get used to it, and then we'll be ready for it. I'm gonna be able to hire my own full-time mechanic. He's got to win 70.3 Worlds this year, right?
With the race series, obviously you guys are always out to win. You're out to win. But do you think with the points, I think that's going to push athletes more?
It'll be interesting to see because the people, I think it'll definitely, the guys who are 70.3 focused, they're going to be pushing it no matter what. But the guys who are focused more on the series as a whole, they're going to have to just go all the way to the line because those few seconds can make a difference, because it's not necessarily a lot of difference in the number of points, but it's the number of points compared to the guy you're trying to beat. So I think you're going to see people finishing like as hard as they can, even if there's nobody near them in front or behind. So that'll be interesting to see. And I think a lot of the people doing the series are just going to push through even if they're having an off day or something, because you can't afford to have to miss this race and then maybe make it up later. Like, you got to have 5 good races. So yeah, it's just going to push people that much harder. It's going to be awesome. And 80 guys, that should make it interesting too, with that many guys trying to go for it. So I can't wait to see how it changes things. I mean, this race has always been super competitive, but now it feels like it's even another level. So it's going to be awesome. When you go talk to Lionel, you got to ask him who's going to be the top Canadian.
What are your thoughts?
He'll probably say, "I don't care. I want to win the race."
Well, what are your thoughts? Who's going to be the top Canadian?
Well, yeah, I think I am, because I want to win the race, regardless of who's here. And that means beating Lionel, too, and everybody else. But we'll see. Something special always happens in Oceanside for someone, so hopefully it's me again. It'd be really embarrassing if the wheel just like didn't spin. There we go. Sounds pretty fast to me. There it is. Sweet. That was the most fun I've ever had building my bike.
Hi.
Hello. Defending champ is back. So how does it feel to be coming back to a race that you've won as the defending champ?
Good. I think I really liked the atmosphere at this race last year, so it's nice to kind of ease back into that. And I think you just have to let go of the defending champion card and, like, try to focus on this year's race. I just don't think it's helpful to, like, I'm here, I don't know, I'm at every race to try to do as well as I can, and I think if I start to focus too much on, like, okay, this is what happened last year, and means to, like, no race is going to go exactly the same way, so I need to be in a mindset of sort of focusing on, like, how the race dynamics play out this year, and kind of, like, enjoying it for whatever happens this year as well. Okay.
We'll just be up here chilling.
Okay, and I'm also just going to grab my watch because I can't see that pace clock very well.
And you have your slot, right, to 70.3 Worlds?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So is this race just kind of like, what does this race kind of mean to you, besides just kind of getting the cobwebs out?
Yeah, I really like 70.3 racing, so I want to mix as much as I could into my schedule. I really like the temperatures and the course at this race. It was sort of meaningful because it was a big win last year to come back and, like, try to defend that title, as much as I'm, like, putting it in the past too. So it fit nicely into the schedule, and it's a nice race to be at. And then I'll also be at Tremblant, which means a lot to me as a Canadian race. So I like try to stay in the cold as much as I can, a little bit.
Do you enjoy the cold then?
Yeah.
You embrace it.
I really like here it should be sort of cooler morning temperatures for this race, and I really like that. I tend to do well in those conditions, and it's more comfortable, especially when you get to the run, if it's like a little bit cooler.
Do you need coffee?
After this, yeah. Shouldn't though, it's not very early, and with the time change it's like middle of the afternoon at home.
That's true. Is there anyone on the start list that you're kind of, I wouldn't say worried about, but you have your eye on tactically that will affect your race?
In the run, it's good. Like, I'm excited that there are some other really strong runners. I think like last year it was great to have Chelsea here because that really pushed my run to a new level for me. So trying to like feed off of that energy, and I'm not sure that it like changes so much race to race these days. Like, there's a strong field at so many of these races.
Yeah, especially with the new race series this year. What are your thoughts on that? Does that kind of like, do you think that ups the level a bit?
It'll be really interesting to see. Like, so far it seems like it's getting a lot of pros out to the races that are part of the series. So it seems like consistently those races will be really competitive. It'll be interesting to see how that unfolds.
Yeah.
Talbot's going to be swimming today too.
Talbot, you getting
You
in?
don't even have it on the schedule, and he's swimming. Like, that's the level of dedication that this guy has. Enough for Onu.
Oh, I forget. You're actually falling through.
Yeah.
All right, Lionel. This year, Ironman has brought like the race series
Yeah.
to the year.
Exciting times.
Yeah. How do you feel about race series, and also how do you feel that'll play out into the races? Because obviously you're here to win. A lot of guys are here to win. But do you think that's going to push kind of the pace a bit more for points of time?
For sure. There's a lot of guys here who definitely eyes are on winning the whole series. So in this particular instance, I mean, every second really does count. And, you know, you got guys who are very good, consistent Ironman guys who maybe aren't as good at 70.3 or are really going to be, you know, fighting for those, let's say, 8 through 12 type positions. Because they know if they do that, then they can certainly win the Ironman side of the equation. So it'll be very interesting. But then you got other guys here who are just here to win this race in particular. So Helly Gaines, for instance, is who comes to mind. And I mean, he's one of the best in the world, really. Like, I know he doesn't have a ton of experience, but I mean, he truly could win the world title in December. So, and then you got Sam Long, of course. I mean, he may be best on land in the world right now at this moment. So I like to have things that motivate me too. And so, you know, 5 races, you can have 5 peak performances in a season. And so it just so happens you need 5 races to win the Ironman series. So, and then of course, now I'm thinking about, I'm trying to win the Ironman series. I get better as I race more. So I did, in 2021 into 22, I did 6 Ironmans in 11 months, and my 6th one was my best one. So I'm not super worried about that. So I don't know what your question is, actually, but I'm excited to race this one all out. And, you know, am I in peak form for myself? No, but I don't think really anyone. Maybe a few guys who are in peak form on the start line for the season. You know, the beauty is it's the first race of the season. I've done well in April and May, and then not done well come October. So this year I intend to do well in October.
We were just with Jackson, and he wanted me to ask you a question.
Can I swim 17:45 for 1500? Absolutely not, unfortunately. Not even in yards.
Okay, question number 2 from
Yeah.
him was he wants to know who your top pick is for the first Canadian.
I mean, Jackson's in good form. I know he's in good form. I watch all his videos, so I know he's in good form. Obviously, he's raced well here. Yeah, I might vote for Jackson.
Do you think that race series will kind of push the pace a little bit more because there's now points on the line, money on the line?
The time counts too, but also I think just like athletes should want to get the best out of themselves. So I don't know, I don't think it changes anything for me, but if it motivates someone else, great.
Do you feel pressure coming into races like this with that sort of pressure?
I don't think so, because like I always want to execute my best race. So that's just whatever people think. Like, they don't know how my training's gone, they don't know what I'm trying to get out of this, so it's just like executing my best race and having a good day, hopefully.
You don't really distract yourself with who's on the star list because it comes down to yourself?
Yeah, and even if I have like a good race outcome-wise, I'll be pissed if it's not like executed well by my standards. So like little things like transition, although I might have a long transition in this race because of the cold, but then like, am I holding good power on the bike? Am I dialed in with my nutrition? Am I running well? Am I pacing properly? Like, I still haven't nailed the 7.3 distance. I could come up with like 30 things every race that I've done wrong. Oh, yeah, it'll take time though. Slowly, step by step.
Coming from the 70.3 world champ, you don't think you've nailed the 70.3 distance?
No, not yet. I feel like if you're right on the margin of like, ooh, could I have gone a little harder? Then you may have left room for improvement.
Coming in, are you coming in tapered for this one, or are you just like full gas?
Oh, I feel more rested just this whole year as a whole. Someone pointed out to me recently that normally I was like, in previous years I was like wrecked 2 to 3 days a week. Now I'm not, I just have a lot more energy. So we'll see how that pans out. It's a tough race.
What's tough about it?
Well, so I would argue it's probably one of the toughest courses bike-wise on the circuit. But that's just my opinion with my limited experience. It's also early in the season, so everyone's like trying to check each other out. I think it's like, what did you do this winter? Did you do your job or not? And then the run, like I think people see fast times. It's just like I don't know, it has it all. It's just a rough course. But that's kind of the beauty of it. Oh, oh God. Patrick keeps saying no.
Who's telling you no?
Oh wow, oh God. You even paid extra for the key lime. This is my favorite though.
Okay, the sugar cookie.
Pink sugar. They use like an almond extract. Yeah, oh, I had 4 of these this week.
Which one will you have first?
That one. Then probably that one. That one's tempting though. Do you want me to just like dip in?
You do you.
Oh good, thank you. It's like a carrot. I'll have my best ever power numbers. No.